Oh boy. Truth or Dare stars Lucy Hale and Tyler Posey and is directed by Jeff Wadlow. A group of friends take a spring break trip to Mexico, and whilst there they meet a mysterious stranger who invites them to an abandoned mission to play a game of Truth or Dare. See how clever that title is? Once there, the game starts, and it doesn't stop, and it threatens the lives of all those involved who are playing the game. This is another horror film that's produced by Blumhouse Productions, and these guys are responsible for some of the hits like Get Out, Split, The Gift, and Paranormal Activity. And Truth or Dare kind of follows suit in that Blumhouse are really well known for turning out low-budget, high-concept films. And I guess that kind of follows suit with this film in the sense that it is a pretty cool concept we've got here, and it kind of reminded me almost of a Final Destination-esque type of hook. So I enjoyed that idea going into the film, but in order for that concept to really be sold, you really need compelling stakes, and you really need strong characterization. Jeff Wadlow co-wrote and directed this film, and he's actually quite well known for the film Kick-Ass 2, and I enjoyed that film. I think it was somewhat flawed in some departments, but a lot of us, I think, could agree that that film actually had some pretty strong, engaging characters throughout that film. Here, Wadlow actually works with 3 other writers, and all of them failed to create one memorable character in this movie. In fact, so unmemorable are these characters that I had to go back to IMDb the very next day after I watched this film to actually remember some of these characters' names. They're just some of the blandest characters I've seen on screen in some time. And it certainly doesn't help when your characters are given really awful dialogue to work with.
Quick! Break my hand! You have to! Do it, Marky. I don't want to find out what happens if you don't.
Along with a lack of characterization, Wadlow really takes an easy route and recycles a lot of standard daytime TV soap plot lines where underneath the game, the characters are forced to tell each other how they truly feel through most of the runtime. So it's not hard to believe that I was pretty bored out of my brain watching this film. However, Wadlow in the film later on starts to explore what set this game in motion, which could have been pretty cool, but it involves the characters going back to Mexico and meeting a character that played the game 50 years ago, lots of exposition, body parts and jars, and it really just doesn't add anything special to the storyline. And Truth or Dare really can't find the balance between bland and just being plain silly. Wadlow also tries to introduce themes of alcoholism and suicide, and this is surrounding one of the family members of one of the main characters of the film. And he actually does this as a way of trying to make this film work in the real world somehow and actually give it some real life drama. However, audience members that have experienced this with themselves or family members may find this actually a little bit insulting with just how shallow these serious issues are actually explored within the film. Now, the design for the demon who can actually possess anybody at any particular point in the movie, well, I actually found that quite interesting here. And we can see it in the trailer. The grin that a lot of these characters have throughout the film is actually inspired from Willem Dafoe's menacing grin. And I thought that's a great place to get inspiration from here. Unfortunately, the CGI is a little inconsistent in some of the shots, so some shots work better as opposed to other shots. The sound design, however, of the demon is quite cool here, and while it could have been, once again, a lazy route where you get your standard demonic voice, which is just one lower octave, it's actually quite nuanced here, and what we have is 2 layers. And so we've got a lower octave and a higher octave, and the demonic voice is actually 2 layers working together in harmony. So I actually found that quite cool. It was something just a little bit different from the norm. But guys, having some cool production ideas for the design of your demon is really just window dressing in a movie. What really makes a great movie is great storytelling, and Truth or Dare sadly lacks one. What we have here is a classic example of a really cool concept that unfortunately is not very well explored at all. It just doesn't know what to do with itself. There isn't an ounce of tension in this film. I didn't care about any of the characters, and it's as emotionally hollow as a wet sock. Forget the dare in watching it. I'll spare that for you guys and just give you the truth. It's just not very good. 1.5 stars.
You can't. It only ends when all the players are dead. And your turn's next.
Dare me to choose which one of you to kill.
Guys, if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to flick me a like and subscribe. And remember, a weekend watching movies is a weekend well spent. Thanks for watching.
Quick! Break my hand! You have to! Do it, Marky. I don't want to find out what happens if you don't. Oh, man.